from the female Claras gariepinus. You can see the female Claras gariepinus here. So let's repeat the same process of stripping. Okay, so we are going to do the same process for the Claras gariepinus female. So you can see, though color of eggs may differ from fish to fish, but you can see that of the Claras gariepinus female, you realize that it's light greenish. Although sometimes some Claras gariepinus eggs can also come little dark brownish, or something we can call gold color. Okay, so no sign of blood yet, but let's stop so that we don't overstress the fish. Okay, so now we have collected our meat from the male Heterobanchus longiphilis. This is it. And we've also collected the eggs from the Heterobanchus longiphilis female. So let's put it side by side. Now, this is the meat, the sperm sac from the male Claras gariepinus. Let's put it here. Okay. And this is the egg from the female Claras gariepinus. Let's put it side with the sperm. Okay. Now, let's not forget that once I cross the sperm for the Heterobanchus longiphilis directly with the egg of the Heterobanchus longiphilis female, it will give us a product of pure Heterobanchus longiphilis. And if I also cross the sperm of male Claras gariepinus with the eggs of female Claras gariepinus, it will give us a pure breed of Claras gariepinus. Now, if I decide to do a crossing in between the two, once I decide to do a crossing in between the two, meaning if I decide to cross the sperm of Claras gariepinus with the eggs of Heterobanchus longiphilis, is going to give me what we call hybrid. And if I decide to do the other way around, that I'm crossing the mute, which is the sperm of Heterobanchus longiphilis male, with the eggs of Claras gariepinus, it's also going to give me what we call hybrid. Okay, so once you cross in between, then it's going to give you hybrid. Okay, but let's stick and cross directly so that we have a pure offspring. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. So the next thing we are going to do now is to macerate the milk in order to allow that the sperms be released in the bowls. Okay, so that's what we are going to do now. The saline solution is what we are going to use to enhance the sperms for better fertility. So I'm using the normal saline to wash my blade clean so that the blood will not be there. So I'll use the normal saline water to wash the blade so that signs of blood and blood particles, the clotting on the blade, will be washed away so that it will not be a particle in the sperms once I use it to cut the milk open. Okay. Now I'm going to make use of my tissue paper to clean the blood on the milk. Okay. I'll use the tissue paper now to clean the blood on the milk. Okay. So let's do that so that we avoid contamination of blood. So see, I'm cleaning the blood. This is the milk of the male Heterobanchus longiphilis. This is the male of Heterobanchus longiphilis. I'm doing a proper cleaning to avoid contamination to avoid contamination. Okay, so let me cut another one to clean. You know, I'm telling us now that in case you are doing this at the same time, let's be careful to avoid interferences of the sperm crossing to one another. So let me cut another tissue to clean that of the male clearance mute. So I'm going to do the cleaning right now too. Okay. It's essential to clean the blood. The blood on the male clearance mute is more. So I might have to cut another tissue to clean again so that we'll be sure that we have eradicated contamination of blood in the sperms. So let me cut another one to clean again so that we are sure that there are no contaminations of any sort. Okay. Okay, so I'm sure we have a perfect. So I'm going to start by macerating that of the male now. Let's come closer and see how we macerate. Now you need to be careful when you are doing the maceration. You can use one of your fingers to hold the other tip. Then you place your blade rightly. Now make sure you gradually cut, shifting position to the top area. This is to actually enhance that you are able to utilize almost 100% of the sperm contained in the mute. Okay, you see the way I'm doing it gradually? Don't take a rush. Don't take a rush. This actually helps you to ensure that all sperms contained in the mute or the sperm sac is being released into the bowl. Okay, target all areas to be sure. Okay, so I will repeat the same thing for the second sperm sac or mute now. So I will use my finger to hold the top area down so that it's not shifting about while I'm doing the maceration. Okay, don't need to rush. Take it gradually. It's better you get all your sperms out of the mute. Okay, so this is a perfect condition now. So the next thing is to add my saline water. I told you that the essence of the saline water is to help increase the motility. It helps the sperms to be able to go around the eggs. You can use just this one male to fertilize more than one female. And that's the essence of using the saline water in order to help go around the eggs for proper fertilization. Now, don't forget, it's time for me to macerate that of the male clearance. So it's better you are conscious. Now, I have to use my normal saline to wash the blade thoroughly. You know, I told you to avoid contamination. Okay? So we will wash the blade thoroughly to be sure that we are not taking any part of the sperm of Heterobranchus longiphilis to add to the Claras gariepinus. So I'm washing the blade thoroughly. If you are not doing the two at the same time, you might not go through this stress. But we have to go through this stress because we have to be sure there is no contamination of any sort. So you repeat the same process for the male clearance. So I will repeat the same process of maceration. So I'm repeating the same process. So you start cutting open. So right now the maceration is achieved. So I will add my normal saline water as well for proper motility. Okay. So at this point, what is the next thing to do is to now achieve what we call the process of fertilization. And what is that? Which is the fusion of both the male gamete and the female gamete. So we'll do our introduction. So I'm going to add a little of since this egg is not much, so we might not use all, we can still reserve and use for more females. Okay, so I'm going to add to the eggs now, and we stir together. Okay, we stir together. Don't forget, this is going to give us pure Heterobanchus longiphilis. Okay, so we stir together. You can make use of a plastic spoon for stirring, but most times you can make use of chicken feather or any other better in order to avoid breaking the eggs. Okay, so but I'm going to use a plastic spoon. But even as you use a plastic spoon, you have to be careful to make sure you don't break most